The Israel Defense Forces are the entire Israeli people. The Jews say that every Israeli citizen is a military serviceman who is on leave for 11 months a year. And there are good reasons for this, because as showed the events of October 2023, the country could be attacked by its neighbors at any time. Today, I will tell you about the youngest and one of the most combat-ready armies in the world, the Israel Defense Forces, or Tzahal for short, about its greatest strengths and the reasons why it will definitely win the war that begins right now.
My name is Nick. Please subscribe to my channel right now and let's get started.
Tzahal was created in 2 weeks after the founding of the state during the War for Independence. The provisional government led by David Ben-Gurion decided to create an army, and on May 26, 1948, the Prime Minister signed the decree on the Israel Defense Forces. The army was created on the basis of the paramilitary Jewish self-defense organization Haganah, which had resisted Arab threats since the mid-30s. The backbone of the army was the soldiers who went through World War II in the Soviet Army and the armies of the Allied forces. To better understand the characteristics of this army and the differences from other armies in the world, you need to understand their military doctrine. Israel is inferior in population to its neighbors, and for the foreseeable future will always be forced to wage war against a numerically superior enemy. The dispute with neighbors is not a disagreement over borders, but a rejection of the very fact of Israel's existence. Israel's enemies will wage a war of destruction against it. Given the geographical realities, as well as the enemy's superiority in manpower and equipment, in the event of war, Israel cannot count on victory through the destruction of the enemy. The real goal should be to inflict such damage on his armed forces as to put them out of action for as long as possible. Small territory, very rugged borders, and proximity of population centers to the front lines deprives Israel of any strategic depth. Not a single settlement is more than 50 kilometers from the border. There are no natural barriers to defense. Israel cannot fight a long war. War makes it necessary to mobilize such a huge percentage of the population that the economy will simply cease to function within a few weeks.
If you are interested in historical events and processes, then especially for you, I have created a series of 365 gift illustrated books, each of which tells about the events, holidays, and people of one specific day. This is the best birthday gift. Check it out at the link in the description.
To carry out such a complex doctrine, a new approach to army formation was needed. When Israel was created, its armed forces were weak and dependent on imported weapons. At this point, the main suppliers of weapons to Israel were France and Czechoslovakia. France quickly stopped supplying weapons. At the same time, the USSR began supplying weapons to Arab countries, which complicated the situation. Israel faced vulnerability to arms imports and had to resort to innovation to survive. This threat became a key motivator for the country, and Israel began to develop its defense industry, investing significant resources in research and development. At the same time, a military subdivision was created, the Talpiot program, with the task of introducing innovation and surveillance. It recruited talented people with academic and managerial abilities, including various branches of the armed forces. They studied the armed forces in more detail and then entered into a research and development program. Other programs have been encouraged to attract talent into the military, including hiring veterans from high-tech and manufacturing companies. This contributed to the participation of specialists in the development of military equipment. Israel has also eliminated bureaucracy by separating military leadership from academia and business. This allowed the military to interact more quickly with legislators, investors, and scientists. Within the military hierarchy, discussion and debate between different levels of seniority also became acceptable, thereby increasing productivity and combating stereotype thinking. All these measures made it possible to create a modern army of a new type in the shortest possible time. Today, the law on military service establishes 2 types of compulsory military service in the Israel Defense Forces: conscript service and reserve service. By law, all Israeli citizens including those with second citizenship and those living abroad, are required to serve in the Tzahal upon turning 18. The term of conscript service is 30 months for men and 24 months for women. Although the law applies to all Israeli citizens, it is not mandatory for Arabs and Bedouins, who have the opportunity to serve in the army voluntarily. A distinctive feature of the Israeli army is the inclusion of women among those liable for military service. However, most women receive a deferment or complete exemption from military service due to pregnancy or religious reasons. Upon completion of military service, the vast majority of women are exempt from annual military training. During the War of Independence in 1948, women actively participated in the defense of Israel due to the critical situation of the country. However, after the end of the war, their participation in combat operations became almost minimal. Currently, most women are drafted to serve in non-combat units of the army. After completing regular service, both among privateers and officers, each year they can be called up for reservist training for up to 45 days. Active reservist service lasts until 45 years for officers and 40 years for others. At the moment, there are 176.5 thousand people in the regular armed forces. The reserve force numbers 565,000 people. The annual military budget is 14 billion.
A few words about modern Israeli weapons.
The Tavor TAR-21 automatic assault rifle developed in Israel is the main weapon and equipment in the security forces of this country. It has also found use in special forces of many other countries. In 2014, this rifle received the title of Weapon of the Year from the National Rifle Association of the United States for its innovation and effectiveness. Tavor TAR-21 is characterized by high shooting accuracy, ease of use, and a modern aiming system. The rifle was developed by the Israeli company Israel Weapons Industries. Its concept, created by civilian designers, is praised for its high shooting accuracy and ease of use. This rifle is equipped with Picatinny rails for mounting optical sights and tactical accessories, and also has various modifications, including compact versions for various military applications. In Israel, much attention is paid to the development of armored forces and the creation of innovative armored vehicles. The Tzahal's main tank is the Merkava, which is considered one of the best in the world, ahead of the German Leopards and Russian T-90s. Its uniqueness lies in its specific adaptation to Israeli tactics and theater of operations, which makes it an effective means of defending Israel. The Merkava was designed with maneuverability, firepower, and crew protection in mind. Its compactness and specialization for mountainous and desert terrain made this tank unsuitable for export, but it was created specifically for the defense of Israel. Despite some shortcomings, such as instability when firing due to the engine position, the Merkava remains one of the best tanks of our time due to its overall protection and firepower.
Probably the most famous Israeli weapon can be called the Iron Dome, an Israeli air defense system developed by the private company Rafael Advanced Defense Systems, which effectively protects against missile attacks. The system includes a radar, a control center, and an installation for intercepting enemy missiles. It quickly recognizes and destroys threats by predicting the trajectories of attacking missiles, and although not every missile is intercepted, Iron Dome is rated as highly effective and has found its way into various countries. Despite some limitations, Iron Dome has been deployed in Israel and other countries, where it has saved lives and is rated as 90% effective in defending against missile threats. Despite continuous attempts by adversaries and circumvented, the system remains a key element in Israel's defense against missile attacks. And in 2022, the company developed the Light Shield Laser Air Defense System as an addition to the Iron Dome. This air defense system has a laser power of 100 kilowatts and is capable of operating within a radius of 10 kilometers. Iron Beam is designed to intercept a wide range of threats: rocket artillery, mortar shells, and drones. This high-energy laser weapon has a significant financial advantage, costing only a few dollars per shot, a significant savings compared to the tamer-type interceptor missiles used in the Iron Dome system, which cost an estimated $40,000 to $50,000. This is the kind of army the people of Israel have today, and we can only wish good luck to this courageous country and people in the fight against those who hate them so much. Write in the comments what you think about this topic. Thank you for watching. Stay curious and stay informed. Bye!